Eagle Community Television presents Community Connection with your host, Mike Cooper.
Hello and welcome again to our Community Connection from Eagle Community Television. Thanks for watching. We're in Palmer Hall, Malloy Hall, on the campus of Fort Hays State University, the Palmer Recital Hall, if you will, visiting with the Director of Choral Music at Fort Hays State University, Dr. Terry Crull. Dr. Crull is also president of the Hays Symphony Guild, and he, along with his colleagues, are going to be presenting again this year a full year of programs and pieces of music for all of us to enjoy in Western Kansas. Dr. Crull, welcome, and thanks.
Mike, good to see you.
Nice to have you back.
Never did see you when we did the radio, so now you look good. Retirement agrees with you, huh?
Absolutely.
All right.
We wanted to visit with Dr. Crull because music is so important to the culture of Western Kansas, and we'll get into that a little bit more later on. But as we mentioned, Dr. Crull is president of the Hays Symphony Guild and is really here on a mission, right, Dr. Crull?
Well, we've got a special year coming up. This is our 99th season, and next year, of course, then will be our 100th year of the Hays Symphony Orchestra, one of the oldest orchestras in Kansas. And I haven't researched it, but it's got to be right up there with the entire Midwest region. And so our 100th year celebration, we've got a campaign called 100 by 100. Our vastly most popular giving level is $100 or better. We have several levels, 50 to 100, 100 to 250, 250 to 1,000. And so most of our people are in the $100 range. And we're hoping to get 100 people for that. That'd be $10,000. That'd be our whole year's budget. And so that's what our campaign is. But more importantly, the musicians are getting ready. By the time this airs, I imagine we'll have had our Pops concert for this season, a night at the movies. Following that, we have mostly Mozart, an evening of all Mozart music. We have our Young Artist competition this year in early February, and this year is just pianists. We decided to split it between pianists and others because those piano pieces are so massive that we put them in one category and then instrumentalists and vocalists in another. So next year the vocalists and instrumentalists will be back. This year it's just piano competition. And then at the end of the year we're doing some Rachmaninoff and Mozart Vespers for our Masterworks concert. So it's an exciting year for the Hays Symphony Orchestra.
Well, and Dr. Crull, talk about the symphony.
Can you call me Terry? Come on. Dr. Crull.
I will do that.
All right.
Yes, indeed.
We've known
I
each
would
other
really
long
like
enough.
to call you Terry, but you
well,
know.
you probably call me a few other things, but let's stick with Terry. Yeah.
All right, Terry. The symphony, who makes up the performers of the symphony?
Well, the performers are community people who have been, playing all their lives and want to continue. A good number of our students and a lot of our faculty fill out some of the roles as well. And that's a great combination for a city of our size and a university of our size, because right there you got faculty and their students playing next to each other, especially like in the winds and those areas, and in the string positions too. So students and their teachers, faculty and students from our department. It's a great connection with the community because not only the community players, but of course our audience that's so supportive here. And so that's a good combination. There's a lot of orchestras around the country, I think, that probably do it that way in our size of cities and communities.
A couple of things back to the 100 for the 100th. How do people contribute, and what is the money used for, Terry?
Well, our membership drive, you should have received a brochure like this. It was mailed out in early September, and it offers an opportunity to be a patron or a friend or a donor or a benefactor. And we have concert sponsors who sponsor a whole concert, and we've got many, as we said, patrons that give $100 or so, and they get season tickets. And that money is used to do a variety of things. First of all, buying or renting some of our scores that the orchestra uses, paying guest conductors, and the Young Artist competition gives awards of $1,000, $600, and $400 to the 3 competitors that are the finalists. We also pay mileage for many out-of-town professional players who come in. We have players from Salina, from Great Bend, from Garden City, even in Cimarron, who come and play in our orchestra because there's not that many orchestras around, and it gives them a chance to keep their skills and their contribution in the arts, and it gives us some quality players to come in and fill out some of those ranks of the sections that maybe we don't have enough of around in just the Hays area. So we pay them some mileage and some stipend for their travel. Mike Harbaugh always comes with some students from Beloit. He's got a good string program there. So we give scholarships to student players, both to play in the orchestra and for their consistent participation awards, we call them. And so the Guild really supports the orchestra monetarily in that way, and it's a joy to be a part of that. Being a singer, I'm not directly involved with the orchestra, but being the president of the Guild, it's been a pleasure to support my colleagues.
A couple of important points: scholarships for young people, and perhaps an attraction to Fort Hays State University and the Department of Music.
We hope so. It's sometimes a challenge to draw people to come to Western Kansas if they haven't seen the quality programs we have out here. Our faculty was just talking about that in our recruiting efforts the other day at one of our faculty meetings, where we focus on how do we convince people to give us a look, because we know people that come here enjoy participating in our programs, and they're going to be active right away. Whereas at a larger university, they might have to wait their turn and hope they get good enough. Here, the competition is less strict in that regard. We don't have as many population. So our students can input and affect our program right off the bat, and that's a big draw, we think, for us. So that's one of our recruiting tools. It's also one of the advantages of young people getting that experience from the day they set foot on our campus and in our community.
Something else too, Terry, that I think we can emphasize is the fact that Fort Hays State University, through the music department, as with all other areas of the university, highlights the fact that professors, doctors of music, if you will, are working one-on-one with students. It's not graduate assistants or anything like that. It's professors.
Right. We do have a graduate
classes.
assistant this year who's helping out with the marching band, because that's such a big program that Dr. Weaver has. And he's working on a Master of Liberal Studies, and he plays piano and instrumentalist as well. But other than that, he's not teaching courses. We teach all our courses. We conduct all our ensembles. And that's true all over the campus, right? Teachers are the ones that are in front of their students. The professional professors, not their graduate research assistants, who are usually working in the lab or doing other things to assist that.
Part of what we wanted Terry to do was to outline the coming programs. Now, there'll be information available at several sources throughout the year, but we do want to highlight the programs that are going to be coming. And once again this year, Terry, it runs the gamut from jazz to opera and everything.
We've got a little bit of everything, yep. Our brochure includes not only music events, but arts openings, the gallery walks. We try to be very inclusive with the arts calendar of Fort Hays State University, and that's all around town at the Convention and Visitors Bureau as well, who are very supportive of us. And then our theater company is a student organization called the Fringe Theater. You've talked about them before. And they do a lot of activity as well. They do a Halloween haunted house. They do a lot of work training kids for activity and community theaters and professional theater as well. And we're putting on some great shows this year. So they have their own brochure for just the theater kids program as well. Yeah, we've got ensemble concerts of our large groups. Dr. Jeff Jordan with the Wind Ensemble and myself will be doing our late October fall concert. We've got an opera in the spring. We're doing Hansel and Gretel this year. Dr. Joseph Pernicero is the director of that. Our new voice studio instructor, Dr. Ivela Allen, has been with us for 2 years now, and she's soloed with the Hays Symphony Orchestra at our Masterworks several times. So our audiences will recognize her. She's giving a voice recital. Ben Klein, our chair and a fabulous cellist, has already given his faculty recital, and Hillary, flute specialist. I've never seen a flute player who practices more, Mike. She's so dedicated. She's in here all the time practicing. Hillary Shepard is our flute instructor, and she's giving a recital. So many faculty recitals to model for the students. Lots of student recitals. We've got a few seniors that'll be graduating in the performance area, and they are required to give a senior recital. And then, of course, we've got all our regular concerts. I have 4 concerts with the choir. And, lest we forget, the Madrigal Feast is on this year.
I was going to say, let's toot, to use a music phrase, let's toot your own horn here, Terry, if we could. Talking again about the return of the Madrigal Feast this year.
Yes, we do the Madrigal Feast on even years. And so this year we've got an exciting script. And looks like we might be bringing some characters from the past back. I won't mention any names because it's not set in cement yet, but we're looking at some actors and actresses in the community who have been a part of the Madrigal Feast. And I like to keep some of the same things from year to year, but some new things from feast to feast now that we go every other year. What won't change is the quality of the music from my Fort Hays singers. The beauty of the costumes that Pam McGowan helps me get those kids all outfitted in costumes, and the trumpets and the recorders and the violins and maybe some dancers and of course the food. I think is a highlight of any Madrigal Feast, and Adam McMillan has done a great job here with our Chartwell's food service at supplying.
It's just the overall atmosphere of the evening, Terry.
It's fun. It's a fun show, and I look forward to it every time. And I'm always glad it's over. it's a big project, let me tell you.
Yeah.
And we've gone to every other year, and that has been well received by the community. I knew it would be because it's a lot of work to do a Madrigal Feast every year, and there are so many other things going on in our great community that people who want to find something else to do have those off years to do that. We've had the Prairie Nutcracker was here last year, so that there was room on our community calendar for that. The Hayes Symphony Orchestra has done a holiday pops on occasion. This year they did a September night at the movies. So there's a lot of things that can go on with the historical Fort Hayes and the cathedral concert and other things. It gets to be crowded around the holidays. So doing it every other year I think was a smart move.
Now, based on years past, Terry, here's a clue to those who are interested in the Madrigal Feast. When the tickets go on sale, don't wait.
They sold out in 3 days.
So that'll give you a clue.
It sold out in 3 days, and they usually come on sale right around the 1st of November.
Make your choice.
And our performance dates this year are November 30 and December 1. So it's always the first weekend of December or that Friday and Saturday.
And the overall ticket price includes the meal, the event, and a great evening that's not to be...
It's theater and it's fine dining. It's not a great steak that you would get if you went to Rooftops, but we're trying to keep costs down. Really, it's not a money-making project. It's a gift of love by the performers. My Fort Hayes singers will put in 30 to 40 hours memorizing 20 to 25 pieces of music of all types for the feast. So it's a lot of work coordinating all those efforts. I write a fairly new script each year, keep some of the elements the same. But it's just such a joy to bring that kind of gift to the community that it's well worth it. And so if we can keep the prices as minimal as we can in order to cover the costs of the food preparation and the printing of programs and the rental of costumes or, giving thank you stipends to some of our outside performers that come in, that's what we try to do.
And before we take a break, talking about vocal music and highly anticipated events, the music department's gift for the holidays to the area and the community is an anticipated event every year.
Thank you, Mike. I am very proud of the cathedral concert. Yep. This will be our 27th year. We did some Messiah selections for our 25th anniversary celebration. The community will remember. And this year I haven't even begun to plan the focus of the concert, although I've got a few pieces that I want to use. I'm leaning towards a carol and lessons, kind of a traditional, passage of scripture and then the music that goes with it, kind of highlighting the holiday story of the birth of Christ. So that would be a beautiful thing to do in the cathedral because it's such a great setting for choral music and for Christmas choral music. That it excites me just talking about it. Can you tell?
Oh, absolutely. And the excitement is always there, not only from the performers, but from the people who get to witness the cathedral concert.
Well, they come early out there. Of course, there's not a lot of parking at St. Fidelis, but they come early to get a good seat and to feel that cozy feeling of just that great cathedral. St. Fidelis. It's just a fun place to just sit.
And you have 2 performances. Once again, there is no charge again this year?
That's free to the community. That's right. St. Fidelis and our music department or our choral department have worked together for 27 years doing that. And it's a great feeling to give that kind of start to the community because we do it early. And December 9th, I think, is this date this year. So to give that kind of gift to start off the Advent season and get people really in the holiday mood is such a gratifying experience.
Highly anticipated event. 2 performances again this year.
3:30 and 6:30.
Okay.
Yep.
You can choose whichever performance you would like to attend, and once again, will be free of charge. There'll be more information, of course, available on the Cathedral Concert. And we'll be back with Dr. Terry Crull, President of the Hayes Symphony Guild and Director of Choral Music at Fort Hays State University. You're watching Community Connection from Eagle Community Television.
Every Sunday afternoon, NFL Red Zone takes you from game to game. live in HD. Every touchdown from every game. Go to NFL.com/RedZoneTV. Get in the zone. NFL Red Zone.
Every touchdown, every game, every Sunday afternoon. Get the NFL Red Zone for only $29.95 for this year's season. Call Eagle Communications at 877-61-EAGLE.
Welcome back to our Community Connection from Eagle Community Television. Thanks to our producer, Jeff Durall, today, as we visit with Dr. Terry Crull, Director of Choral Music and President of the Hayes Symphony Guild at Fort Hays State University. And we talk a little bit about performers at the Kansas Music Educators Association, which is a big event. Terry.
It's a big event. It's our entire state convention for all music teachers at all levels: church music, elementary, high school, university, middle school, community groups. And you apply if you would like to perform there by sending in a CD of 2 or 3 numbers from your previous year's performance, and they're listened to by a blind panel. I mean, they don't know who they're listening to. Mm-hmm. So to get selected means you're the top choice or one of the top choices in your area, choral or instrumental or percussion or jazz or whatever, rated by experts in that field, your peers. So it's an exciting event to be picked. And once again, we've got 3 groups going from our department this year. That's in late February in Wichita. My concert choir is going. I'm very pleased about that. It's the 5th time I've had a choir selected. Brad Dawson and Jazz 1 goes. You're only allowed to go every 2 years, so if you went last year, you can't apply, or you won't be allowed to. Brad has gone every 2 years since I've been here, and I'm sure for a long time before that, as has the percussion ensemble. Dean Kranzler has this group of drummers that just play xylophones and marimbas and timpani and snare drums and all kinds of, we call them noisemakers affectionately, but they've got quite a crew of players. It's a large percussion ensemble, larger than some bands, I think. And so those 3 groups will be representing our department at this year's state music convention, yeah.
Opportunities, we talked about opportunities to learn music and learn theory from professors at the Department of Music at Fort Hays State, but also an opportunity for scholarships here.
Lots of scholarships we give. Of course, you know, Ed Hammond, our president, has worked very hard to keep our tuition the lowest of all the regions in the state, and we highlight that every chance we get because our scholarship pool isn't large, but our percentage of your tuition is larger than at many. So if you get, you know, $1,000 to come and be a part of our music department, that may not sound like as much as $200 or $2,500 from one of our larger sister schools, but their tuition is, you know, 3 times what ours is. So it's a good percentage of that, and we try to highlight that every time we can. We have many in-department music scholarships as well, and those students have gone on. Nathan Brown, one of our top, we call it the Presser Award. The family donated the money years ago, and it's an endowed scholarship. And he was the winner of that award, and now he's playing in a top wind ensemble and composing. He won a competition and a scholarship for his composition. We did one of his pieces last year with the Fort Hays Singers. And so our composition and theory department gets kids well prepared for playing, teaching, and composing.
A lot of different areas students can go after they've left the Department of
Music. That's correct. That's correct. We have BAs in music for technologists who are going to be recording and master technicians in the area of recording arts. And of course, we've got many performers who want to get on to grad school and do further work and study in their instrument or their voice. And then a vast amount of teachers. Laura Andrews heads up our music education department. And we're filling open spots in music education as fast as we can because, as you mentioned earlier, music is such a vitally important aspect of a student's upbringing as well as all of our lives. Despite what our state government may have done to the arts with cutting funding, the people out here know that music is important, and we felt a real surge of private support that is made up for the lack of state funds.
And I'd like for you to come back to that in a moment, Terry.
Okay.
One other area that I want to highlight is something that I really feel a passion about, and that's the Fort Hays State Tiger Marching Band under the direction of Dr.
They are exciting, aren't they? I had the privilege.
150 members, I believe?
115 they had last year. I think they're down on a little bit this year. It fluctuates from year to year. But it's exciting to see. When I came here, there were 60 or 70 in the band, so it's almost doubled in size. Lane Weaver does a fabulous job. He writes the drill, he arranges the music. His kids contribute by writing. For example, the drummers write their own cadences, the thing that the band marches to. They have student conductors that run, the sectionals and the rehearsals. They got new uniforms this year. That's going to be a highlight this year. Ed Hammond helped secure funds from various sources to buy 100 or so new uniforms. Now they won't look that new to the crowd because they're just like the old ones. We did that so that some of the best of the old ones could be reused and saved, and so we're thinking frugally in that regard. But the kids are excited about having brand new uniforms. They're better fit, they're more comfortable, and that makes them play better too. So
I can't imagine, Terry, a Fort Hays State University homecoming parade or a basketball or football game without the pep band and the excitement that it brings to the overall
as a former
atmosphere.
basketball player, the thing I missed the most about being a varsity basketball player, both in high school and college, was not being in the band. I judged the bands at every school we went to. None of it compared to your own, of course. Your own band was always the best, even if you weren't playing in it anymore. And so that's an exciting feeling for an athlete, I tell you. Some of the kids in the band don't even know. I tell them, I said, you don't know how important it is when you run out on that court or on the field to have that band there and know that the crowd is going to be with them behind you as an athlete. So our football players, our basketball players, they enjoy that very much, you bet.
The mention that you made about the arts and such, we know the culture of Western Kansas is greatly enriched by the many art programs, whether it's through the Hays Arts Council and the various arts areas, Dane Hansen.
Encore series,
Encore series, so many areas
Gallery
and
walks.
opportunities that occur. And a part of the culture, I can't imagine it without the arts, Terry.
There are those who think it's not necessary. They would be sadly awakened if they would succeed in cutting completely arts from our community. It'll never happen because people who have had arts a part of their life wouldn't let it die. It would be a burden financially and in other ways, but we will continue to do our work because, as I said with the theme of the choir this year, music touches the heart. Reading, writing, and math are important core subjects, don't get me wrong. But they do your mental brain thinking capacity. But what about the heart? The heart is what connects you to other people. And it's arts, it's sculpting, it's photography, it's seeing nature through a camera lens or through an artist's canvas, or painting a text of a poem as my choir tries to do. And we think of it as painting as well, to bring out more effectively that music. I'll give you an example. I Valentine's Day, my group sings Singing Valentines, and I usually go to a retirement home, and they had me sing to a lady who was in her bed, couldn't get out, and I started singing a love song from Showboat to her. Her eyes opened and kind of got teary, and so the nurses were saying, she hasn't opened her eyes. When I told the Board of Regents that story, I said, I didn't quote them the Pythagorean theorem. I didn't diagram a sentence in English grammatical structure. I sang her a song. That's what touches the heart. Those things are great. We need to be able to have good thinkers and knowledgeable people in our community, and I was a math major for many years as well, and I love the sciences. But the heart needs to be educated as well, and that's what the arts do.
And well said. I certainly hope that people will support those lawmakers who understand the importance of the arts.
And show the ones who don't
the door.
Exactly.
Terry, finally this morning, if you would, once again, review the Hays Symphony Guild fundraiser, the 100 for the 100, so folks can be a part of it.
This season is our 99th year, and it's our goal by the 100th year next year to have 100 patrons. That's the $100 or more level of support. And when you give $100 to the Hays Symphony Orchestra or more, you receive season tickets, so you can attend the concerts free. You're invited to the reception at our Young Artist Competition, where we meet the artists, these young artists who gave their time and effort and played with our orchestra. There's the brochure. People can become members anytime throughout the year. Of course, we're doing a big push right now in the fall of the season to get all our memberships up, but we really like by the 100th year next season to have 100 people at the $100 level. That would be $10,000, and that's about our budget. It's a little bit more than that now that we've lost a lot of arts funding from government sources. We had to make it up with private, and the community has really stepped up. So a big thank you to our community for continuing to support our orchestra and all of our arts. I mean, Brenda Mader at the Hayes Arts Council and their gallery walks. What a ton of people were out. It was a beautiful night. She picks the weather too, I think. Or she tells the man in charge what the weather needs to be.
She will at least take credit for it.
Brenda's the hardest working gal in our arts community, I tell you what. So we love her to death, and I do hope she'll be a part of our Madrigal Feast again this year, now that I let the cat out, one of the cats out of the bag. So anyway, please become a supporter of the Hayes Symphony Orchestra, as well as our music department and the Arts Council, and your church choir and the school plays, the Hayes High Musical, the TMP Dinner Theater, and their show in the spring. They feed us great kids, and so it's a good community to be in for the arts.
Dr. Terry Crull, Director of Choral Music and President of the Hayes Symphony Guild, our guest today on A Community Connection from the Palmer Recital Hall in Malloy Hall on the campus of Fort Hays State University. Thanks to our producer, Jeff Durall, and thanks to you for watching Community Connection from Eagle Community Television.